Hey everybody, it's Kelly from Ready Set Drone, and today I have the Potensic F183WH. I'm going to open this thing up, take it for a flight, and see what I think. So one of the things that intrigued me a lot about the Potensic was the bright LEDs on this thing. It's got different color LEDs. It looks pretty cool when it's flying in the air. It's a pretty standard toy drone. It does come with FPV, standard gyros, the ability to record video and pictures. It does flips. The FPV, however, is over Wi-Fi. It's not 5.8, so you're going to get a little bit of lag, although not too much from what I've seen so far. I've already taken it up and flown it a couple times. It's pretty easy to pull the landing skids and the camera off the bottom, so if you just want to fly it as a little trainer, something to fly around and have fun with, it's pretty easy to do that. This little white plug pulls out and the camera comes out. It's attached to the battery door, and then there's 4 little tiny screws that you take the landing skids off. Of course, it does have prop guards that it comes with as well. I'm not a big fan of prop guards because I feel like they just slow it down and make it bulky, but if you're just starting out, they're probably not a bad idea to put on. They have little screws that come with them too. One other nice thing about this is it comes with a screwdriver, spare props, and the remote's got some cool features on it too. So let's go ahead and turn on the copter and the remote and see how that looks. So I've got my remote on first. My battery is in the copter. There is an on-off switch on the bottom. Go ahead and flip it on. And you see those bright LEDs. You've got the white in the back, blue on the sides, and red in the front, so it's pretty easy to orient. And they're really bright. Even in the daytime, you can see them pretty well. So one of the cool things about the remote is you've got this little LCD screen. A lot of times the LCD screens on these things are pretty useless. This one, you can actually hit this little button here, this round thing on the right, and you can actually turn up the gain, the levels on it. So it defaults to 50%. If you turn it on, and then you spin it, you can see that number, hopefully you can see that number going up. So at 100%, your controls are 100% gain. That's kind of expert mode. It's still got stabilization, but it's going to fly a lot more aggressively when it's like that. If you leave it at 50%, it flies pretty decently. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to 75 for the sake of this demonstration. So the drone actually uses Wi-Fi in order to transmit its FPV signal to you. In order to get the Wi-Fi working, you need to download the app. You can either scan one of these QR codes. There's one for Android and there's one for iOS. Or you can go to the App Store and download VS UFO app. And that's what I did. So I've got it here. It looks like this, VS UFO. Going to go ahead and launch it. And one other thing that's important is to go into your Wi-Fi settings and connect to the Wi-Fi that the drone is giving off. So in my case, it's DFD-75045B. It doesn't have a great name, but that's the one. I've forgotten about my normal Wi-Fi network here at my house and connected to this one. So now that I've connected to that, I can open up the VS UFO app like this, and then flip over and start the app, and there's my live view of the camera. So you can move the camera around. There I am. You can see me. Haha. And it's pretty real time. I mean, if you look at if you can see the camera and the drone here, I'm moving it, and you can see how it's reacting. It's if there's a delay, it's a pretty short one. So now that I've got the app running, there's a couple things you can do with the app. You can actually use it to take a picture by hitting this little button, or take video by hitting that button. And you can see the little red dot is recording there. Now it's actually recording to my phone. It's not recording onto the device itself. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video recording, and we'll take it up for a spin and test out the video quality. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this little device here that comes with the controller. There is a nifty little slot in the top here that this thing slips into and allows it to stay put. And then this thing has a spring that basically holds your phone in place. So if if you have an iPhone 6S Plus or a 7 Plus, it may not fit, but you can see my 6S fits pretty well. There's my live view of the actual drone's camera, and we're going to go ahead and arm it. The way you arm the props is you hit this, you hit this lower left button, starts the prop spinning, and you can also pull the sticks down and in, and that will start and stop the props. So let's go ahead and take off and see what it looks like. It's pretty quick. I've got it at that 75% setting, and you can see that's pretty fast. Now the other thing this drone has that's pretty cool is it has altitude hold. So I'm letting go of the sticks right now and it's maintaining its altitude. It is drifting with the wind. It does not have GPS, but it is definitely holding its altitude based on the barometer that's inside the drone. It can do flips. Bring it back here and take it for a little flip. And it flips whichever direction you push the stick. So if you push the stick forward, it flips forward. If you pull the stick back, it flips back. And it does not lose a lot of altitude on the flips, which is pretty nice. The yaw rate is kind of medium. It's not super fast, but not super slow either. Some of these are super slow. But at 75%, like I said, it's a pretty agile little flyer. It's got some get up and go. And that's with the landing skids and the camera on it. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and crank the gain on it all the way up to 100, just to see how crazy it is at that rate. So that's at 100, and I'm going to go ahead and start the camera on the drone. Got my GoPro and my main camera rolling, so let's see what it does now. Wow. Yeah, with that gain at 100, it is super speedy. The altitude control with the using the barometer is pretty nice. Because it doesn't sink like some drones. I've got a couple of SEMA X5Cs that when you fly them that fast, when they stick their nose down like that, they tend to start facing downward. Now it does have a headless mode. I think you just hit this upper left button to put it into headless mode. And it does have, as I said, pretty decent flips. Now it's a little bit tricky to land, and the reason is because the sticks here are centered. The throttle stick is centered, so you have to hold the throttle stick all the way down for a couple of seconds before it cuts the motors. Okay, so there's a couple other things I forgot to mention. It does use a 2S 500 milliamp hour battery, so it's got a pretty decent battery life. It's a good sized battery for a drone this size and this light, so the life is pretty good. Also, the tilt on the camera, I don't know if you can see it there, it is adjustable, which means you can actually set it to a height that you like, which is good because if you're trying to fly at FPV and it's tilted too far down or too far up, that can be a problem. So I've got it at a good setting for me right now. And then the last thing I was going to mention is that the controller does allow you to actually take video and photos from the controller to activate that. So you don't have to just do it in the app. I've been doing it in the app just because I'm used to it. But so we're going to take it up. I'm going to go ahead and set the dial it up to 100 and fly it around a bit like a crazy person. So let's roll the camera on the drone and see what it can do. I was saying before about the altitude hold, it really does a nice job. The barometer in this thing, it must be pretty well tuned because it does keep it in place pretty well. The other thing I really like, and I said before, are these bright LEDs. So it's pretty bright out today. A little bit of cloud cover, but you can see it's got blue, red, and white. And not only do they look cool, but they really help with orientation. I also like that it, when it flips, it doesn't lose a lot of altitude. It tends to stay at its altitude when it flips. I don't know if that's because of the barometer or because it's just really lightweight, but a lot of drones you need to be 20 feet in the air before you can flip them. This one, I'll bet I could flip it from right here. Again, I'm at 100% on the controls. It defaults to 50%, so you'd have to change it if you want to fly it like this. Woo! That was crazy. There we go. Okay, so in conclusion, I have to say the Potensic F183WH is a pretty cool little quad. It uses a 2S battery, which for a drone this size is quite a bit of power, 500 milliamp hour, so you get a decent amount of flying time. It has these cool LEDs for orientation. You can actually turn them off and on using the remote. The app is not too bad. It actually does a decent job with FPV. Now, you're not going to shoot beautiful cinematic footage with this, but for just shooting some photos and some video of you flying around, it's pretty good. I also like the fact that the camera can tilt up and down and that the camera can be easily removed so that if you want to fly it more like a sport flyer, you can try that too. As a matter of fact, I think I might take the camera off and the landing gear off and see how it flies like that. But it is a cool little drone. You can get it on Amazon.com. I will put a link in the description, and hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please give me the thumbs up or comment, and be sure to subscribe to Ready Set Drone. We'll see you next time.